when people are first thinking about dieting, usually it comes as a knee-jerk response to not feeling good, right? To feeling like you have a day where you step into your closet and nothing fits you that day, right? Feeling like you see yourself in a photo and you grimace at that photo and you say, all right, time to get it together. I'm going to start a diet again, right? And what usually happens when that is like the response?
Well, it's this knee-jerk reaction that's an overcorrection, right? So we say, this is where I'm at, and we have this painful experience, right? We get frustrated, we get angry, maybe there's a feeling of fear that, hey, I need to change something right now. And we go to the total opposite end of the spectrum where we say, okay, I'm going to cut out all my carbohydrates. I'm going to stop drinking altogether. I'm not going to eat any more sugar. I'm going to go on the 75 hard or the keto diet or whatever it is that your flavor of the week is. And this overcorrection actually makes us feel more burnt out, right? Because we're expending all this mental energy on focusing on what not to eat rather than focusing on what to eat. It also creates this feeling of hunger because we usually cut out, let's say, I'd say the average person probably drops down to 800 to 1,000 calories. Maybe it's 1,200 calories because you want to lose the weight as fast as possible. And that is such a massive calorie deficit that you end up being hangry, you end up being lethargic, you end up having that energy dip. And so this overcorrection actually perpetuates the cycle of being on and off because you can't sustain it. It's not what your body needs. It's not what your brain needs. And even if you think of the reductionist mindset of I'm just going to pull everything bad out, we usually don't put anything good in, right? And so our body doesn't have the calories, the micronutrients, the nourishment it needs for us to really be in our state of power, right? That state where we show up and we're like, hey, I can take care of some things. And so we start to see that this is the pattern. And now it's great that we've started, right? Pain's a really great place to build from. That frustration that fuels us is really great because it gets us to change. But now what we need to do is we need to find a better path. And so once you get that momentum, you need to find something to move towards, right? We're motivated by two factors in our life, to avoid pain and to receive pleasure. If you're in that spot where you get going because you say, hey, the things aren't where I want them to be, it's like fantastic. But now what are you moving towards, right? And that's where we start to build more of these other habits, if you will, that get us to where we want to be.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that you can really, when you start to zoom out and you see it that way, you can easily tell that if you were to see somebody else doing that, right, cutting out all of their food, dropping their calories in half, and you start to observe them, you would see that they were lower energy, they were a little bit more irritable, and you would ask, why are you doing this to yourself? Yeah. Right? But that's what we do to ourselves. When we feel frustrated, we just take action on what worked in the past, even if we hated it, right? We're like, okay, but I know that this is going to work. When in reality, if you're having to do it again, it didn't work the first time.
Yes.
That's a big one. So we're going to flip this and think, okay, we're not going to do those things anymore. We're not going to go back. Let's look at a different way to do this, right? So it doesn't just start with strategy, which might be the craving. It's like, just tell me what to eat. But what should we start with
instead? The first thing we always have to change is our mindset.
Yes.
Whenever we're in a space where we're trying to change something about ourselves or something we're engaged in, we have to develop a different mental approach because the old model of thinking is what left us in this position. And so that old model of thinking is I need to lose weight as fast as possible. I need to change my body as fast as possible. I will do whatever it takes to change my body. And this short-term instant gratification mindset is not the right approach to longevity, sustainability, and to results, right? Because a lot of the results that we want don't happen in a month.
Right.
A lot of the results that we want don't happen in 3 months, right? You can make some really great progress. I remember when I first started competing in bodybuilding, I was 250 pounds. And look at me right now, I'm 210, 212. So I had 40 pounds of body fat on me. And I started to say, okay, I'm going to diet. And I was like, I'm going to lose 20 pounds, I'll be at my goal weight. And I lost 20 pounds. I was like, oh no, like I still got so much further to go. I thought it was going to take me 3 months to reach the stage. Ended up taking me 7.5. And that's okay because I won the contest. And so if the goal is to win the contest, you need to be able to do it in the time that works for you. If your goal is to build a healthy life, you need to do it in a time that allows you to actually build it. And so we have to change our mindset from being weight loss driven as fast as possible to saying, hey, these are the results I want. But more important than getting the result of my body changing, I need to change. I need to become a healthy person. I need to change my mindset about how I treat my body and how I handle myself. Because a lot of times the way that we handle food has nothing to do with the food. It has to do with ourselves. It has to do with the emotions. It has to do with our mindset. It has to do with the feeling that we're seeking. And so if we can start to change the mindset from being instant gratification, lose weight as fast as possible, to saying, hey, I want to lose weight. I want to feel strong. I want to feel confident. I want to have that energy. And more importantly, I want it to last. That mindset of longevity and sustainability is where we want to start to focus our attention.
Yeah, I love that. And don't really worry about all the little things that have to change with your mindset, because those are going to happen over time. What we're saying is start with a different mindset. Start the process with a different frame. Rather than lose weight ASAP yesterday, okay, I want to get healthy and I want to do this like for real this time, right? Even just that change in dialogue, you might be saying the same thing. I want to lose 30 pounds. I want to feel better. But you're thinking about it. You're approaching it mentally completely different, because that leads you to saying, what does my body need? Okay, I need to learn how to take care of my body, because I've never really learned healthy habits with food. Like, I've kind of just eaten. And that's a great realization in and of itself. So really what we're saying is approach it with a different mindset to start.